All right, well, today we're driving down the Sunset Strip on our way to a town called Sherman. Sherman does not exist anymore, but was essentially a paper town, a scheme of sorts that involves railroads and the rapid development of the area surrounding Los Angeles. Sherman was never incorporated into the city of Los Angeles. It became kind of a purgatory. Sherman did not incorporate into the city of Los Angeles. It became what is known today as West Hollywood. It maintained no incorporated status, which meant that it was very loose on things like gambling and alcohol during Prohibition. It's not quite the same as it has been. There's the Viper Room and the whiskey. All these wonderful places that are kind of dormant. And of course, the Rainbow's still there. As far as I know, that's still going strong with the Roxy. I see Beverly Hills ahead. So we're trying to get to this little corner of West Hollywood, Los Angeles, and Beverly Hills. So we're gonna begin our walk in the city of Beverly Hills. Whenever I'm in this area, I always think about the Circle Jerks song, Beverly Hills, Century City.
Everything's nice and pretty. All the people look the same, but don't they know they're fucking glad?
And we are in Beverly Hills, and way off in the distance, maybe about a mile, mile and a half, is Century City. Two places you would not consider as even remotely on the periphery of edginess and rock and roll and all of that stuff. So everyone's happy today. The dogs are happy. The squirrels are happy. And I'm happy to be here because this is a part of town that I don't really get to very often. In fact, I spent a lot of time exploring this area when I was in my late teens, early 20s, and it's kind of interesting to come back and see it how it is today. Beverly Hills, and we're about to cross into West Hollywood. West Hollywood is not incorporated as a city until 1984. There's downtown LA, but don't get used to that view because there's development on the way. But for the time being, there's a view from the town of Sherman. So now we're officially in West Hollywood, and we're gonna take a walk on this little gravel trail. This was once Pacific Electric Railroad tracks. In the late 1800s, there was a massive boom. Word got out that Los Angeles was the place to live. By the 1880s, you could get here by train. So many spectators and investors and bamboozlers came out west to Los Angeles to see if they could sink their teeth into something. So when Moses Sherman came to Los Angeles, he set out to stake his claim in a place that seemed to be logistically sound, which was the area between Los Angeles and Santa Monica. This is really the reason why I feel any sort of attachment to this area is the fabulous Troubadour, which got its current iteration from the 1960s as kind of a beatnik coffee bar and evolved into just the absolute premier dive, and the place is absolutely legendary. And in the early days, there was still a dirt median with remnants of tracks here and there. So these passenger tracks were abandoned for passenger travel, but still did a lot of freight runs that dwindled off to, I think the last customer on this line was a lumber yard, if I'm not mistaken. But old timers will have recollection of trains running down the middle of Santa Monica Boulevard. So looking to the south, I see something called Melrose Triangle, which appears to be a splashy glass and steel office. Maybe looks like retail on the ground floor and offices above. They're digging out a basement over there that's kind of crazy. So there's going to be lots of underground parking. So it looks like this is the end of the line. And we're going to have to go back to sidewalk travel. So in the 1960s, when West Hollywood became a magnet for counterculture and beatniks and hippies, West Hollywood was kind of a dump. There was a lack of law and order that was attractive. If you talk to anyone that was familiar with West Hollywood in the 1980s, it was commonly just the gay area. I won't say that we take for granted, but it's just something that is now normalized, but was very cutting edge at the time. I haven't been in this area at night in a very long time. It used to be just absolutely bustling, and I'm sure it's still very bustling at night, but I do see a lot of empty storefronts, which is an indication, like all over LA and probably all over the country, casual drinking establishments are kind of starting to whittle away, with people being a little bit more, I think it's just monetary oriented. It's very expensive. So there are still plenty of bars, but I've just noticed around my area in downtown, people don't really go out to party anymore. So Santa Monica and San Vicente, this would have been the center of the hypothetical town of Sherman. Because Santa Monica Boulevard had passenger rail tracks and San Vicente had passenger rail tracks. But at the time of the founding of this town, there would have been mostly farms, if that. So this really was way out in the boonies, somewhere between Los Angeles and Santa Monica.
Howdy, boss. We registered to vote in LA County.
Oh, yeah.
One quick petition to help out homeless families just to get it on the ballot.
Sorry. So there's the dog park, the fancy dog park. There's a fancy dog park in fancy West Hollywood Park. It's pretty striking to see the disparity in the different parts of Southern California, because everything is just absolutely perfect in every way. I don't see any trash, I don't see anything, but that's what you get with West Hollywood. It's a small town in the middle of a massive urban area. Some people have described it as a tantamount homeowners association, which is a stark contrast from what it started as, which is a rough and tumble, lawless town where anything goes. So that restroom's kind of interesting. It's got a really flimsy door, like a bathroom stall, but the actual restroom locks up at night. But spotlessly clean. So up there is the Hollywood Hills. West Hollywood does not go up the hill, it stops right at Sunset. So all the movie stars' houses up there are all in the City of Los Angeles. So here we are at Melrose Avenue. It is so weird seeing healthy and nourished people smiling and enjoying themselves. Like, what does that have to say about my environment? Maybe if I could afford it, I would live with all of these happy and well-nourished people. So there's a couple different parts of Melrose, West Hollywood Melrose. And then if you go even further down into the city of Los Angeles, you have regular old Hollywood Melrose. Oh, look at this. They got flowers and everything. So a lot of people like to shit on California. California's a shithole. I'm not here to argue whether it is or it isn't, but there are definitely very nice and maintained areas. This place is just kind of amazing how everything seems to be under control here. You don't even see like faded signs or faded labels or anything. Everything's just immaculate. We're gonna go down one of these side streets in a little bit. For now, looks like they're doing a hardscape project here. Some empty storefronts, but look at everything's spotless. Somebody's even cleaning the windows. It's like a brunch spot or something. It's Sunday morning. I just can't get over how beautiful this neighborhood is. Oh my God. Let alone Southern California, it doesn't even feel like I'm in the United States for how immaculate everything is. Look at, they even have benches just to sit on. No strings attached. So these are the best crosswalk modalities in my opinion. I love these. You probably can't see it, but they light up and they strobe. Fancy. Everything around here is fancy. I bet you if I wanted to spend $50,000 on a rug, I could do it in a heartbeat there. See, look at all the high-end retail in San Francisco and other places that's closing up shop, and then there's still something alive and kicking in the high-end retail and high-end dining. I need to wipe the inferiority complex off of my face because I feel when I come to an area like this that I'm just an alien and I don't even want to talk to anyone. So I believe LA County Sheriff serves West Hollywood. I don't think they have their own police department. This is where they keep doing smash and grabs, and this is where I'm gonna have my Rolex stolen today. So these people are kind of like veal at the mercy of anyone that rolls up and wants to rob them. I wonder if someone wants to rob me for my GoPro. I'm so out of it. I don't know any designer, anything, so I don't even want to comment on the retail because I don't know which is which. So I guess there's a distinction when you say that Melrose is dead. You have to qualify it that it's Melrose in LA that's dead, because Melrose in West Hollywood is immaculate. So Melrose and La Cienega. Down there in the distance is an old school Norms. And up there is Sunset Boulevard. And one of the scariest streets if you've ever driven a stick shift up La Cienega. So if you want to see two different realities, over here is Melrose Avenue in West Hollywood. And then here's the event horizon. We got West Hollywood and the good old city of Los Angeles. So we'll be able to see obviously some differences in the way that things are maintained. I don't think West Hollywood has any toilets sitting on the stoop of an abandoned building, soon to be demolished. So complete jurisdictional change here. There's a lot of things that were illegal a few feet that direction that are now legal over here. I won't go into it, but there's a lot more ordinances that are enforced in West Hollywood than there is in Los Angeles. So still some what appear to be high-end retail establishments, but definitely feels just a little rougher around the edges. So do you remember Beverly Hills 90210? I do. I gotta be honest, it's one of my favorite shows. I've watched it start to finish. Not that I'm proud to say that, but I do love the way that it depicts Los Angeles. And this would be another relic of that era. There's a farmer's market down there, but this is a street called Melrose Place. So here we go. Melrose Place. So there would have been a hypothetical apartment building that didn't exist somewhere around here. So I would love to say, look at the difference, look at all the potholes, look at the trash, look at the homeless, look at the everything. But it's not that different, just little subtle things. So this portion of Melrose within the city of Los Angeles has kind of these run-of-the-mill 1980s 4 and 5 story apartment complexes. And I do notice just a little bit less investment. So that sign says Hollywood. It doesn't feel like Hollywood. This is like Hollywood by the farthest stretch of the imagination. But I think you probably would be better calling this area Fairfax. But if I'm wrong, correct me. So even the LA portion looks great, quite frankly. So I'm getting a vintage feel for the street here. I don't want to piss anyone off, but this might be a good street for a road diet. A lot of people ride their bikes around here, and it seems like this would be a likely street to ride your bicycle. So there's some There's one empty storefront. I'm not getting a vibe that everything's empty. I'm just getting this is just kind of normal, everyday stuff. Some tenants come and go. So it is Sunday, but it is still pretty early. So some of these places might get busy at night. Hollywood Improv. Something for lease over there. I think I've seen those planters, those metal planters. I've seen those somewhere. I bet that they had some people camping right there and they put those. So that's very, very West Hollywood of this neighborhood. But this is not a down and out neighborhood. This is still an incredibly expensive part of Los Angeles. The amount of multi-million-dollar houses is just astounding, and they're surrounding us. So with all the wealth in the neighborhood, I guess there would be room for some high-end, low-volume stores. Oh my God, this is beautiful. Oh my God. Mid-century glory. Oh, an ashtray right next to the door. What's the outside of this building look like? Oh, it's just a regular old boring office building, but man, that's beautiful. The parking lot. So if you look at this street now, except for the proximity of millionaires, this is a pretty vintage looking street. There's some vintage looking royalty on bicycles. I see the streets closed up here, so I'm thinking that there's some sort of bicycle event. Maybe that's why there's so many bikes. Maybe I'm a dummy. So these are some old school storefronts. This is very noir. Imagine being a notary and having an office up there. Well, it's nice seeing all these people, but I have to say the street still feels too wide and the sidewalk feels way too narrow. So you think with the property values in the neighborhood that they would have, oh yeah, this is the City of Los Angeles, so it takes generations for things to get done. Ooh, a neon store. Wow, that's cool. But I love it. This is Main Street America right now. This looks like a million small towns. So, ah yes, there is an event ahead. I am so silly. It's CicLAVia today. No wonder there's a million bicycles. Fairfax and Melrose, and that is not an encampment, that's a swap meet that is in the Fairfax High School parking lot.
Doing it, so now I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, ready? Let's try it. We got this? Yeah, let's start. You got it. You got it. You guys did it opposite, so that's fine. You got it.
Are you following?
Wow, small world.
Oh, how are you?
Cool.
Yeah, I told him we ran into you at the Grand Central.
Great minds think alike. I didn't even know this was going on today.
CicLAVia?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We came from home on the train.
It's fun.
Wow, yeah, I had no idea what was happening. I was going to the record store right here.
Oh, okay, yeah. They're open, I noticed. Yeah.
Very unexpected to see someone I went to grade school with that took the metro and brought their bikes to CicLAVia. That's freaking amazing. From Orange County. Fairfax High School. I've known a couple people that have gone to Fairfax High School. Apparently it's a pretty decent school. Well, that's cool. I was just complaining about the cars and the width of the road, and now the whole freaking road's open for everyone.
Yogi Bear, we are going to CicLAVia Bear.
Just want to press play. It's crazy because you don't do that shit down there.
I'm trying to leave.
Alright, well, that worked out beautifully. I'm going to declare that mission accomplished.
I'm gonna wear that shoe, okay? That's Daddy's shoe, okay?
I got to figure a way to cross the street safely. Well, it's kind of sad, but we're constrained by the amount of money I put in the parking meter over in the fiefdom of West Hollywood. But the good is that we parked well away from all of the disruptions, wonderful disruptions that this is bringing. So that's kind of nice. It's super quiet without that street. But as I said before, this is still a multi-million-dollar enclave. So just because we are in the city of Los Angeles doesn't make a huge change in the demographic and the wealth in the neighborhood. Nobody's going to argue that this is not a well-desired, aesthetically pleasing part of the city. So here we are at, I think it's Waring Avenue, I believe. This would have been the center of an 8-lane freeway. it almost happened. There was plans on the books, very detailed plans that outlined the course and all of the planned on and off ramps. And I love honking at someone that's trying to stop for a stop sign. So even into the early 70s, there was plans on the book that would have run the 2 freeway, the Beverly Hills Freeway, along this street. And of course, all of these houses in this proximity would have been torn out. And from what I was looking at, that was going to be a beast of a freeway. It's going to be another I-10 basically. So if you visualize 1, 2, 3, these 4 houses would have been gone, and there would have been frontage roads with on and off ramps right here. In fact, it looks like it was designed in the style of the 210 freeway through Pasadena. God bless the LA streetcar suburbs. There's so many layers. These old houses, I think these ones were built right around like 1910, thereabouts. They had garages, but they were for tiny little Model T cars. And then this looks brand new because the sidewalk is brand new at the owner's expense. So it's funny, Melrose is closed and nice and quiet, and this little sleepy back street is all buggered up with traffic. Look at these adorable little houses, oh my God. Look at that giant window in the living room. These places are very nice inside. By today's standards, they would have very high-end hardwood floors. A lot of them have cool built-ins and some crawl space that leads right onto the street. That's kind of sketchy. You even got an old school ride. That's something you don't see every day. That's not a common car. That's cool. It's an older lady, and she probably just drives it to her podiatry appointment. So Melrose is good, but lots of traffic elsewhere. And we are back at Fairfax. So it looks like we got about 1.9 miles. And I know that some of us will be tired, so we're just gonna take it easy, maybe get something to eat, and wrap up this little adventure to Melrose. So we're still officially in the city of Los Angeles. It's just one of those really nice parts of LA. The streets kind of get maintained better than average. I wish they could still build cities like this. So many dwellings, and the architecture is fantastic. So we're back at the dividing line. The old concrete streets, which are really rough, but they are the best investment, because look, these streets were laid 100 years ago or more. Apparently West Hollywood has some of the strictest and oldest rent restrictions. But I know for ownership, I was just talking with a coworker who bought her first condo in the early 90s for $80,000 right around this neighborhood. $80,000. And then she sold it for $2 something and then bought a bigger house. And now our house is worth $1.5 million. So that is sad. But if I had the $1.2 million to buy a little fixer-upper 800 square foot house here, I would not plump down my money. So it's not even nice to dream. I'm sorry. If I had the money, I wouldn't live here, but I would definitely live here if someone wanted to will their estate over to me. And we're back on La Cienega. I think just for old time's sake, I'm gonna drive my manual transmission car up that hill. La Cienega is a major thoroughfare. If you keep going that direction, you will end up at the airport. I think that's our first tent of the entire trip. It's wholesome and kitschy around here for sure. A tiny little nursery. That's cool. And seriously complicated parking restrictions. At the rate we're going, we're going to be there about 10 minutes after the meter expires, so you gotta keep in mind that other places in the world are not like LA. I can't park my car here for a week. There's little elves that take care of everything here. Hey, even the roundabouts are like super cute and well maintained. Even the ugly mid-century architecture is still cool. See bars on the windows. So this used to be a much different neighborhood, that's for sure. But nowadays we still have the takeovers and the organized crime and all that stuff, takeover robberies and stuff, so it's different than somebody breaking into your window, into your $200 a month apartment. So these aren't true roundabouts because they're stop signs. But they are simply, there's a lot of little weird no right turns between certain hours and stuff like that. It's because we're close to Santa Monica Boulevard and we're close to the Sunset Strip. So what used to happen back in the day, I don't know if it happens anymore, but people used to go cruising. And we got some insanely new school contemporary. The one thing I like about contemporary architecture is the rooftop. I mean, that's it, really. But having a rooftop would be amazing, especially around here. Well, look at this. Finally caught one. This car just rolled up without a driver. Actually, we got to ride in one the other night. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure we broke the rules, but I brought my dogs in there. So it got us there. I was drunk, but I wasn't scared. So there may be something to it. We may be seeing these cars everywhere from this point forward. Well, right on. This works out perfectly. Thank you. You too. They're listening to Stiff Little Fingers, and they had water for my dog in a glass bowl. So that's the kind of thing I can get used to. Here we are, Santa Monica Boulevard again. So there's the MTA yard there. I wonder if that was once where the train yards used to be. I'll have to look that up. Metro Division 7, West Hollywood. There's Shelby. There's our autonomous cars and autonomous delivery. Science fiction is happening as we speak. Check that out, an old car wash. I would guess that is actually a very expensive car wash. And I bet you they have customers for days. So there we go, a little Weho. So it's nice to get out as always. I know my dogs are tired, but this was an interesting walk. I think this is kind of the tempo of future videos. I like that I can just sit there and just chop, 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 and make it flow a little bit. Trying to keep them under a half hour. They get a little never-ending sometimes. But nonetheless, I thoroughly enjoyed this walk. It's about noon by now. All right, there's some serious Sunday morning drinking going on over there. That's cool. Oh yeah, and if I failed to mention it, this is also part of Route 66. This was a U.S. highway at one point, and then it was a state highway, and now it's just a regular old street owned by the city. Definitely feeling the bottomless mimosa vibes. Yep, we got some upscale living going on here. So here we are back in the town of Sherman. All right, well, looking good. Let's see, we made it with 3 minutes to spare.
Beverly Hills, Century City, everything's so nice and pretty. All the people look the same. Don't they know they're so damn lame? There she goes, three-piece suit, spandex pants, cowboy boots. I just don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll have to move from Beverly Hills, Century City. Everything's so nice and pretty, and all the people, they look the same. But don't they know they're so damn lame?